I cheated on my husband during his business trip, but on our anniversary dinner, he handed me divorce papers in front of both families. I'm 31F, was married, to Don, 34M, for 7 years. Together for 9. He's an underwater welding contractor, manages these massive deep-sea infrastructure projects. Gone for weeks, sometimes months, working on oil rigs, underwater pipelines, ship repairs. The money is insane, he pulls in close to $300K a year. I'm an agricultural biotechnology consultant, specializing in sustainable crop development. I make good money too, about $150K, but his absence was the problem. Or that's what I told myself. 8 months ago, I met Ronan. He's a sommelier at this upscale wine bar where I'd take clients. Younger, present, attentive. Everything Don wasn't when he was 2,000 feet underwater fixing some pipeline. It started with wine tastings after work. Then dinners. Then hotel rooms. I was careful. Or I thought I was. Separate credit card. Different phone for texting. Only met when Don was confirmed to be out of state. I even had a whole system, work conferences that didn't exist, girls' trips that were just me and Ronan at some boutique hotel 2 towns over. I felt like I was playing chess while everyone else was playing checkers. Tonight was our anniversary. 7 years. Both our families came in, his parents from Wisconsin, mine from Iowa. His 2 brothers, my sister. The whole production at this restaurant downtown that costs more per plate than most people spend on groceries in a week. I wore the diamond earrings he bought me last Christmas. The dress that made me look like money. I sat there, playing the devoted wife, laughing at his father's stupid fishing stories, complimenting his mother's new haircut, while secretly thinking about Ronan's text from this morning. Don stood up during dessert. I thought he was going to make some romantic toast. He'd been acting normal all evening, charming, attentive, even held my hand during dinner. He pulled out an envelope from his jacket. 7 years ago, he started, voice steady as steel, I promised to honor and cherish Verena. I kept that promise. Every day I spent in decompression chambers, every night I slept in shipping containers, every holiday I missed, I kept that promise. Everyone was smiling, probably expecting some romantic gesture. I was already mentally rehearsing my surprised face for whatever jewelry was coming. But promises are mutual. He set the envelope on the table. And when one person breaks them, the other is free to walk away. He slid the envelope across the table to me. The room went silent. Not quiet, silent. Like everyone suddenly forgot how to breathe. Divorce papers. Already filed. You'll find the terms more than fair, considering. Considering? Considering? My mother gasped. His mother put her hand over her mouth. His brothers just stared. My sister knocked over her wine glass. What are you talking about? I managed to get out, but my voice cracked. The carefully constructed facade I'd maintained for months started cracking like ice under pressure. He pulled out his phone, swiped once, and set it on the table. There I was, in Ronan's apartment. The timestamp showed 3 weeks ago, when I'd told him I was at a biotech conference in Denver. Private investigator. 3 months of documentation. Every hotel receipt you thought you hid. Every work dinner that somehow required lingerie. Every time you smiled in my face after F-king him. He said it so calmly. No raised voice. No dramatic gestures. Just facts, delivered like he was reading a shipping manifest. My father stood up. Don, perhaps we should. Sit down, Carl. Don didn't even look at him. Your daughter made her choices. She can own them. I tried to speak, to explain, to do something, but he continued. The prenup you signed, you remember, the one you called just a formality, is ironclad. The house is mine, I bought it before we married. You'll get your personal belongings, your car, and exactly what you're entitled to by law. Nothing more. His brother pulled out his phone and started recording. I wanted to scream at him to stop, but I couldn't move. I've already separated our finances. Your consulting business remains yours, of course. But our joint accounts are frozen pending division. Your credit cards, the ones I pay for, are canceled as of midnight. My sister tried to intervene. Don, please, can't you both just? No, Becca, we can't. Your sister spent 8 months lying to everyone in this room. She made her choice. I'm making mine. He stood up, pulled out his wallet, and dropped a credit card on the table. Dinner's on me. Last thing I'll ever pay for concerning you, Verena. Then he looked at me, really looked at me for the first time all evening. His eyes were empty. Not angry, not sad. Just empty, like I was already erased. The locksmith is at the house right now. Your belongings will be in the garage. You have 48 hours to collect them. My lawyer will be in touch. He walked out. Didn't storm. Didn't slam anything. Just walked out like he was leaving a business meeting. The silence after he left was deafening. Then my mother started crying. His mother stood up, looked at me with such disgust I felt it in my bones, and walked out with his father. His brothers followed without a word. My father sat there, staring at the divorce papers I still hadn't touched. "Verena," he said quietly, "what have you done?" I wanted to defend myself. To explain how lonely I was, how abandoned I felt. But the words wouldn't come. Because the truth was uglier than any excuse, I did it because I could. Because I thought I was smarter than him. Because I thought a man who spent half his life underwater wouldn't notice what was happening on dry land. I was wrong. The waiter came over, nervous, holding the credit card Dawn left. The bill was over $2,000. The anniversary dinner I'll remember for the rest of my life, when my husband publicly executed my reputation while barely raising his voice. My sister drove me to a hotel. My parents won't answer my calls. Ronan isn't responding to my texts. And I'm sitting here, designer dress worth $3,000, diamonds in my ears worth $5, and absolutely nothing left of the life I had 6 hours ago. The worst part? I can't even cry. I'm too angry. Too humiliated. Too shocked that he knew. That he planned this. That he let me sit there, thinking I was clever, while he held all the cards. I was playing chess. Turns out, he owned the F-King board. Update 1, 3 days later. Thanks for all the comments on my last post. Yes, I know I'm a piece of SHT. Yes, I know I deserved it. You don't have to keep telling me. But you want to know what's happened since? Fine. I'm living in a Marriott downtown. $200 a night that's draining my personal account because, surprise, all our joint credit cards are frozen. Don wasn't bluffing, everything's locked down tighter than Fort Knox. I went to the house yesterday. My key didn't work. Found my stuff in the garage like he said, clothes in garbage bags, jewelry in a cardboard box, my work files in plastic containers. He'd even packed my grandmother's china, wrapped each piece carefully. The message was clear, I'm not breaking your things, I'm just erasing you from my life. The prenup is bulletproof. I had my own lawyer look at it, cost me $500 just for her to tell me I'm F-Ked. I signed it 7 years ago, thinking it was just rich people paperwork. Turns out I signed away rights to the house, his pension, his 401k, everything except what I personally earned during the marriage. Even the F-King furniture stays because he can prove he bought most of it. Want to know the kicker? The pie he hired has everything. Not just photos, videos, credit card records, text transcripts from the phone I thought was secret. 3 months of surveillance that probably cost him $20K, and he paid it gladly just to bury me. The text transcripts are the worst. All my messages to Ronan, talking about Don like he was some absent ATM. Calling him the banker when I was drunk. Joking about spending his money while F-King someone else. The pie even has audio from the wine bar of me telling Ronan that Don was too focused on work to notice if I F-Ked someone in our bed. I never did that, by the way. F someone in our bed. I had that much decency, at least. Not that it matters now. My family situation is a disaster. Mom won't speak to me. She keeps crying to my sister about where she went wrong raising me. Dad sent one text, I'm disappointed beyond words. Don't contact us until you've figured out who you want to be. My sister Becca is the only one still talking to me, and even she's brutal. Yesterday she said, you know what's F-Ked up? Don called me 2 months ago. Asked if you were really at that spa weekend with me. I covered for you because you're my sister. He knew I was lying. He thanked me anyway and said he understood family loyalty. Then he hung up and hired the pie. I helped you dig your own grave. Work is another nightmare. Somehow, and I have no idea how, word's already spreading through my professional network. I lost a consulting contract yesterday. The client said it was budget restructuring, but her assistant let slip that they needed someone with better judgment. Ronan? That coward blocked me on everything the night of the anniversary dinner. His Instagram went private. His LinkedIn disappeared. When I went to the wine bar, his manager said he'd suddenly decided to take a position in California. He ran like a F-King rat from a sinking ship. But here's what's really eating me alive, Don's Instagram. He hasn't blocked me. He posted one photo 2 days ago, him on his boat at sunrise, coffee in hand, caption, new depths to explore. 842 likes. Comments from people I thought were our friends, all supporting him. His brother commented, "Finally free, bro." His mother posted a heart emoji. My comment section on my last post from 2 weeks ago? Snake. Trash. He deserved better. I had to make my account private. The lawyer says the divorce will be final in 60 days if I don't contest. If I fight it, it'll take longer and cost more, and I'll still lose. Don's offering me a one-time payment of $50K, which is technically more than I deserve according to the prenup. His lawyer called it a gesture of closing this chapter efficiently. $50K to end 7 years. That's not even his quarterly bonus. I know what you're all thinking, I deserve this. And you're right. I threw away a man who loved me for what? For attention? For excitement? For the thrill of thinking I was getting away with something? The truth is uglier. I did it because I was bored. Because I felt entitled to more than what I had. Because I thought his absence meant I deserved a substitute. Because I believed my own BS about being neglected when really, I just wanted to have my cake and eat it too. Now I'm sitting in a hotel room, eating takeout salad, watching my life implode in real time, and realizing I played myself. Don's not some clueless workaholic who stumbled onto my affair. He's a man who plans underwater operations where one mistake means death. He approached my betrayal like a project, methodical, thorough, and with zero room for error. I thought I was the smart one. Turns out I was just another problem he solved. Update 2 weeks later. The last 2 weeks have been a masterclass in how thoroughly someone can dismantle your life without ever raising their voice. First, the house. I went back for the rest of my things. Don wasn't there, but his brother was. Just standing in the driveway, recording everything on his phone for legal purposes. I had to load my own boxes while he watched. The neighbors came out to stare. Mrs. Patterson, who used to invite me to her book club, wouldn't even make eye contact. Found out Don had the house professionally cleaned the day after I left. Like a crime scene cleanup. Every trace of me erased. Becca helped me move and said the place looked like a staged home for sale. My office is now his gym. The guest room I decorated is back to bare walls. 7 years of my presence gone in days. The divorce negotiations are humiliating. His lawyer is this shark from downtown who probably costs more per hour than most people make in a week. My lawyer keeps telling me to take the $50K and run. You have no leverage, she says. The prenup is solid, the evidence of infidelity is overwhelming, and frankly, he's being generous. Generous. That word makes me want to scream. But here's what's really F-king with my head, Don's thriving. Not pretending to thrive for social media. Actually thriving. His brother let slip, probably on purpose, that Don got promoted to senior project manager. He's leading some massive underwater infrastructure project in the Gulf. More money, more responsibility, and get this, less travel. The job he'd been gunning for 3 years suddenly materialized right after our separation. He turned it down twice before, his brother said, smirking. Said he needed to be home more for his marriage. Work is becoming untenable. I've lost 3 more clients. Word travels fast in biotech consulting. Integrity issues is the phrase floating around. One potential client actually asked, "Aren't you the woman whose husband exposed her affair at dinner?" Like I'm some cautionary tale making the rounds at industry happy hours. My firm hasn't fired me, but they've restructured my role. Less client-facing work. More back-end research. A soft demotion that everyone pretends isn't happening. My boss, who used to golf with Don, can barely look at me. The financial reality is setting in. Without Don's income, I can't afford our lifestyle. I'm good at what I do, but $150K doesn't go as far when you're paying for everything yourself. The hotel finally kicked me out, not literally, but they informed me that extended stays require different arrangements. Translation: we know you're living here, and it's weird. So I'm in an apartment now. A nice one, sure, but it's 1 bedroom in a complex full of divorced people and young professionals. The walls are thin. I can hear my neighbor's TV through the wall. Last night, I heard her having sex and wanted to die because it reminded me that no one will touch me now except lawyers. Ronan surfaced briefly. 1 text from a number I didn't recognize. I'm sorry. It was never supposed to end like this. Please don't contact me. Never supposed to end like this. Like we were ever going to have some fairy tale ending. Like I was going to leave Don for a 29-year-old sommelier who lived in a studio apartment and thought owning 3 suits made him sophisticated. My family remained split. Mom finally called, but only to ask if I'm getting help. She means therapy. Dad sent a check for $5K with a note, to help you transition. This is not a gift. It's a loan. You'll pay it back when you're stable. Even my own father is treating me like a financial risk. Becca's been my only consistent support, but even she's getting frustrated. You need to stop acting like this happened to you, she said yesterday. You did this. Don just responded. The sooner you accept that, the sooner you can move forward. But here's the thing I can't stop thinking about, the timeline. Don knew for 3 months. 3 months of me lying to his face. 3 months of family dinners, of sex, of planning vacations, of normal married life. He knew and said nothing. Just gathered evidence and planned his exit. The anniversary dinner wasn't just cruel. It was calculated. He wanted maximum impact. He wanted witnesses. He wanted me to feel what he felt, exposed, humiliated, betrayed. But while I was scrambling to hide an affair, he was orchestrating my complete removal from his life. I found out he'd already interviewed divorce lawyers before hiring the pie. He knew he was leaving before he even confirmed the affair. The evidence was just ammunition. He'd mentally divorced me months ago and spent the rest of the time positioning himself for the KL shot. My therapist, yes, I'm in therapy now, $200 a session I can barely afford, says I'm focusing on his strategy to avoid confronting my own choices. She's probably right. But it's easier to be angry at his methodical destruction than to face the fact that I handed him the weapons. The 60-day countdown has begun. In 46 days, I'll be officially divorced. Don's already removed married from his social media. His profile picture is him on a diving platform, looking like a King Greek god in his wetsuit. 3,000 likes. Comments from women I've never seen before. Meanwhile, I'm drinking wine alone in an apartment that smells like fresh pain and failure, realizing that I didn't just lose a husband. I lost the life I thought I was entitled to. And the worst part? I have no one to blame but myself. Update 3, 1 month later. You want to know what rock bottom looks like? It's signing divorce papers in a conference room while your ex-husband participates via video call from an oil rig in the Gulf, looking tan and relaxed while you're in a suit you bought at Target because you can't afford Nordstrom anymore. The divorce is final in 2 weeks. I took the $50K. My lawyer convinced me that fighting would cost me more in legal fees than I'd ever recover. Don's lawyer had a footnote in the settlement that made me want to throw up. Mr. Petrov acknowledges this payment is made in the interest of expedient resolution, not obligation. Even his generosity is an insult. The meeting where we divided assets was surgical. Don gave me the good coffee maker, the newer vacuum, and the KitchenAid mixer his mother bought us. I got to keep my jewelry except the wedding rings, those he wanted back. Not for sentimental reasons. He's having them melted down and donated to some ocean conservation charity. The symbolism isn't lost on me. But the real knife twist came when his lawyer mentioned Don's upcoming commitments. Apparently, he's been selected for some elite underwater welding certification program in Norway. 6 months of training that will basically make him the Navy SEAL of underwater contractors. The salary bump alone will double his income. Funny how opportunities open up when you remove obstacles, his lawyer said, looking directly at me. Work completely imploded yesterday. HR called me in for a performance review that was really just corporate theater for your being let go. They're calling it a mutual separation with a modest severance, 2 months pay and COBRA benefits. The official reason is restructuring, but my boss's parting words were, I hope you find an environment better suited to your values. My values? Like I'm some moral leper infecting their precious company culture. The termination isn't effective for 30 days, so I'm basically a ghost in the office. People avoid me in the hallway. My assistant requested a transfer. Even the security guard who used to chat about football looks through me like I'm invisible. I've started applying for jobs, but my reputation is radioactive. I had a promising interview last week until the hiring manager asked, weren't you recently in the news? Turns out someone, probably Don's brother, that vindictive F, posted about the anniversary dinner on LinkedIn as a lesson in professional integrity. It has 50,000 views and climbing. I'm unemployable in my field, at least locally. I'll have to relocate, probably take a massive pay cut, and rebuild from scratch. At 31, I'm starting over like a new graduate, except with baggage that shows up on the first page of Google results. The isolation is suffocating. I used to have a circle of married friends, couples we'd do wine tastings with, barbecues, ski trips. They've all chosen Don. Not explicitly, but the invitations stopped coming. The group chat went silent. I saw photos from Carrie's birthday dinner last week, everyone was there except me. Don was in the center, laughing, looking like he'd lost 10 years. Even my single friends are keeping distance. My friend Astrid told me brutally, "You're toxic right now. Being around you makes me look bad by association. Give it a year, maybe things will calm down." A year. In a year, Don will be making $500,000, diving in Norwegian fjords, probably dating some blonde engineer who appreciates him. And I'll be what? Still radioactive? Still the cautionary tale women tell each other over brunch? The loneliness is crushing. I tried dating apps out of desperation, but someone recognized me. "Holy SHT, you're the anniversary dinner woman." He screenshotted my profile and posted it on Reddit. I deleted everything. My therapist says I'm still in the anger phase of grief. That I haven't fully accepted responsibility. She's wrong. I accept it. I know I have kept up. I know I destroyed my marriage for nothing. But accepting it doesn't make living with it easier. Had to move to an even smaller apartment. The $50K from Don is my survival fund now, and I need to stretch it. This new place is basically a glorified studio. I can see my bed from my kitchen. The shower takes 5 minutes to get hot. There's a stain on the ceiling that looks like disappointment. But you want to know the worst part? The absolute worst F-king part? I miss him. Not the marriage. Not the lifestyle. Him. The way he'd explain his work with such passion. How he'd make coffee at 4 a.m. before a dive and leave me a cup with a note. His terrible dancing at weddings. The way he'd hold my hand during turbulence even though he knew I wasn't really scared. I threw away a man who loved me for a man who won't even acknowledge he knew me. Becca came over last night with wine and tough love. "You need to stop mourning what you lost and start building what comes next," she said. "Don's not coming back. That life is gone. You can either waste the next decade feeling sorry for yourself, or you can figure out who Verena is without him." She's right. But right now, Verena without him is just a woman in a shitty apartment with a dying career, no friends, and the distinction of being the villain in her own story. Tomorrow I have a job interview in Phoenix. Lower position, lower pay, but it's 1,500 miles from here. Maybe that's far enough to outrun my reputation. Maybe it's far enough to start over. Or maybe I'm just delaying the inevitable realization that some mistakes follow you forever. 2 weeks until the divorce is final. 2 weeks until I'm officially nobody's wife. 2 weeks until Don is free to forget I ever existed. The irony isn't lost on me. I wanted excitement, adventure, something more than what I had. Now I have all the excitement of starting over with nothing, the adventure of rebuilding a destroyed reputation, and definitely something different than what I had. Be careful what you wish for. You might get exactly what you deserve. Update 4, 3 months later. Phoenix didn't work out. Turns out running from your reputation is like trying to outrun your shadow, it's always right behind you. The job offer was rescinded 2 days before I was supposed to start. Someone sent them the LinkedIn post. HR called it a social media risk assessment issue. I spent $3K on moving costs for nothing. Had to drive back to Minneapolis with my tail between my legs and what was left of my dignity packed in a U-Haul. I'm working now, though. Independent contractor for a small agricultural startup that doesn't care about my personal life as long as I deliver results. It's remote, pays $60K, less than half what I used to make, but it's income. I write reports about soil composition and crop yields from my apartment, pretending my life didn't implode 6 months ago. The divorce has been final for 2 months. I got the paperwork on a Tuesday afternoon, signed and notarized. Don's signature was already there, dated from that oil rig in the Gulf. 11 years together, dating included, reduced to a PDF attachment. But something unexpected happened last month. Don called me. I was grocery shopping, buying generic pasta because brand names are a luxury now, when his name appeared on my phone. I almost dropped a jar of sauce. "We need to talk," he said. "No hello. No how are you. Just straight to business, like always." We met at a coffee shop downtown. Neutral territory. He looked good. Really good. Norway agreed with him, tan, fit, wearing a watch that cost more than my car. He'd grown his beard out. Looked like a Viking who traded his longship for a diving bell. I probably looked exactly like what I was, a woman shopping at Target and calling it self-care. "I wanted to close this chapter properly," he said, sliding a folder across the table. "Not with lawyers and paperwork, but as two people who once meant something to each other." Inside was a check for another $30K and a letter. His handwriting, which I used to mock for being too precise, too architectural. "This isn't guilt money," he said while I stared at the check. "It's not forgiveness either. It's acknowledgement that despite everything, you were part of my journey to who I'm supposed to be. Without our marriage, without your betrayal, I'd still be accepting less than I deserve. So this is me, thanking you for the lesson. The letter was worse than any divorce paper. He detailed our entire relationship, the good, the bad, the signs he ignored. He wrote about loving me, about the exact moment he stopped, about finding those first receipts and knowing but hoping he was wrong. He wrote about sitting in decompression chambers, thinking about me with another man, using that anger to push himself harder, deeper, further. I don't hate you, Verena, he wrote. I nothing you. You're a chapter I've read, understood, and closed. This money is my way of ensuring that chapter stays closed. We both know you're struggling. Take it. Build something better. Or don't. It's no longer my concern. I cried. Right there in that coffee shop, I ugly cried while he sat across from me, unmoved, checking his phone for work emails. Why? I asked when I could speak. Why be kind now? It's not kindness, he said. It's strategy. You desperate and bitter might try to re-enter my life. You stable and rebuilding won't. I'm investing in my own peace. Even his mercy was calculated. Even his generosity was self-serving. And the worst part? He was right. I had been thinking about reaching out, about trying to apologize properly, about maybe finding closure. This was him closing the door, locking it, and welding it shut. He stood to leave, then paused. I'm getting married next year. The words hit like ice water. What? To who? Someone who understands that love isn't about excitement or passion. It's about partnership, trust, and choosing each other every day. Someone who sees my absence as sacrifice, not abandonment. Her name is Ingrid. Norwegian engineer. Met her during his certification. She's 29, speaks 4 languages, and dives with him for fun. 4. Fun. They're building a house together in Norway where he'll be based for the next 5 years. That was fast, I said, trying not to sound as bitter as I felt. No, he corrected. You were slow. Slow to appreciate what you had. Slow to realize what you were risking. Slow to understand that some things, once broken, can't be fixed. He left me sitting there with a check I desperately needed but didn't want to take, and a letter that read like an obituary for who he used to be. I deposited the check. Paid off my credit cards, caught up on rent, bought actual groceries. The relief of financial breathing room was immediately replaced by the weight of what it meant. He'd paid me off. Bought his freedom from even the memory of obligation. My therapist says I'm making progress. I can talk about the affair without justifying it now. I can acknowledge that I wasn't neglected or abandoned. I was selfish and entitled. I wanted the security of marriage and the thrill of an affair. I wanted Don's stability and Ronan's attention. I wanted to have everything while giving nothing. The truth is simple and ugly. I cheated because I could. Because I thought I was smarter than everyone else. Because I believed my own lies about deserving more. Because I mistook Don's trust for weakness and his absence for permission. I'm in a support group now for people who've destroyed their marriages through infidelity. We meet in a church basement on Wednesdays, sitting in a circle like addicts, which I guess we are. Addicted to validation, to excitement, to the thrill of deception. Last week, a new member joined. A man whose wife served him papers at their daughter's graduation. As he told his story, I saw myself reflected back, the entitlement, the justifications, the shock when consequences arrived. I wanted to tell him it gets better, but does it? Or do you just get better at living with what you've done? Ronan reached out once more. A drunk text at 2 a.m. I loved you. I didn't respond. What would be the point? We didn't love each other. We loved the idea of each other, the danger, the secrecy, the fiction we created where we were the heroes of some passionate romance instead of 2 selfish people destroying lives for orgasms and wine. My life now is small but stable. I work, I go to therapy, I attend my support group. I'm learning to cook for one. I'm reading books I always said I'd read. I'm trying to become someone who wouldn't do what I did, but late at night, when I can't sleep, I think about Don in Norway with his engineer fiancé, building a life that should have been ours. I think about the house we'll never buy, the children we'll never have, the growing old together that I traded for 8 months of mediocre sex and the delusion that I deserved more. The anniversary of the dinner is coming up. 1 year since my life exploded in a restaurant full of witnesses. Don will probably be diving in some fjord, teaching Ingrid to read sonar or whatever couples do when they actually like each other. And I'll be here, in my studio apartment, eating takeout for one, living with the knowledge that I had everything and threw it away for nothing. The last line of Don's letter haunts me. I hope you find what you were looking for, Verena. And I hope it was worth what you paid for it. It wasn't. It never could have been. But that's a lesson you can only learn by losing everything. Final update, 6 months later. This is my last update. After today, I'm deleting Reddit, changing my phone number, and starting the life I should have started a year ago. It's been a year since the anniversary dinner. A year since Don exposed my affair with the precision of a surgeon removing a tumor. A year of consequences, humiliation, and finally, maybe, growth. I'm leaving Minneapolis tomorrow. Permanently. I got a job with an agricultural NGO in Guatemala. It pays virtually nothing, $32K USD, but includes housing and the chance to disappear into work that might actually matter. Teaching sustainable farming to communities that need it. It's a 2-year commitment, and honestly, I might never come back. The decision came after I ran into Don's parents at Whole Foods last month. His mother saw me first, and I watched her face cycle through recognition, disgust, and pity before settling on cold indifference. She walked past me like I was a stranger. His father at least nodded, the way you'd acknowledge someone whose name you can't remember. That's what I've become, someone whose name people prefer not to remember. But the real catalyst was seeing their wedding announcement. Don and Ingrid. June wedding in Norway. The photo was perfect, them on a boat, her looking at him like he hung the moon, him looking at the camera with quiet confidence. The caption, "Found my anchor." I wasn't invited, obviously. But Becca was. My own sister is going to my ex-husband's wedding because she remained friends with both parties, which is code for Don didn't do anything wrong, and we all know it. You could be happy for him, she said when she told me. It would show growth. So here it is, I'm happy for him. Happy he found someone who values him. Happy he's living the life he deserves. Happy he turned my betrayal into a catalyst for something better. There. Growth. The truth is, I'm happy for him. And devastated for myself. And tired of being both. Hence Guatemala. I had one last session with my therapist yesterday. She asked what I'd learned from all this. The answer came easier than expected. I learned that I was the villain in my own story. Not a victim of circumstance, not a neglected wife, not a woman seeking what she deserved. Just a selfish person who destroyed something beautiful because I was bored. I learned that some mistakes can't be fixed, only lived with. And I learned that the person I cheated most was myself, out of a future I'll spend the rest of my life mourning. She said it was the most honest thing I'd said in 9 months of therapy. I'm keeping the apartment for now, subletting it furnished. Maybe I'll need it someday. Maybe not. I'm taking 2 suitcases to Guatemala and leaving everything else in storage. Starting over with less than I had in college, but more self-awareness than I've ever had in my life. My parents finally started talking to me again, mostly because I'm leaving. Dad helped me pack, though he spent most of it in silence. Mom cried and said she hoped I found myself in Guatemala. I didn't tell her that I already found myself, I just didn't like what I found. The $80K from Don, both payments, is my safety net and future seed money. It's sitting in an investment account I won't touch unless absolutely necessary. Blood money, conscience money, freedom money, whatever you call it, it's all I have left from 7 years of marriage besides regret. I wrote Don a letter. Not to send, he made it clear he wants no contact, but for closure. In it, I admitted everything without excuse or justification. How I convinced myself his success was my abandonment. How I turned his trust into opportunity. How I mistook his quiet strength for indifference. How I was so busy feeling entitled to more that I never recognized I already had everything. I burned it last night. Seemed appropriate. He got his closure with that surgical dinner performance. This was mine, private, pathetic, but necessary. The support group threw me a going-away party. 8 people who'd destroyed their marriages sitting in a church basement eating grocery store cake, wishing me luck on my journey. Marcus, who'd cheated on his wife with her sister, gave me a journal. Write it down, he said. All of it. The ugly stuff you can't say out loud. Then leave it there. I've been writing every night. Filling pages with the truth I couldn't face before. I wasn't unhappy in my marriage, I was unhappy with myself and made it Don's problem. Ronan wasn't special, he was just available and fed my ego. The affair wasn't about sex, it was about feeling powerful, desired, and clever. I didn't think I'd get caught because I believed Don was too focused on work to notice. Really, I thought I was too smart to get caught. The anniversary dinner wasn't cruel, it was justice. Public humiliation for public betrayal. Don didn't destroy my life, he revealed what I'd already destroyed. Tomorrow, I fly to Guatemala City, then Then drive 6 hours to a village where no one knows my name, my story, or my shame. I'll teach farmers about soil erosion and crop rotation. I'll sleep in a concrete room with a single window. I'll wake up at 5 a.m. to roosters instead of regret. It's not penance, nothing can undo what I did. It's just moving forward because standing still hurts too much. My last conversation with Becca was brutal but necessary. You want to know the worst part about what you did? She said. It wasn't the cheating. It was that you made all of us complicit. Every time you lied to him, we had to pretend we didn't know. Every family dinner, every holiday, we all sat there knowing you were betraying him while he carved the turkey and called you honey. You turned us all into liars. She's right. The ripples of betrayal extend far beyond the person you betray. I contaminated every relationship around me with my deception. I saw Don one last time, though he didn't see me. He was at the farmer's market with Ingrid, buying flowers. She was laughing at something he said, and he was looking at her the way he used to look at me, before I KL'd that look with 8 months of lies. They were beautiful together. Comfortable. Easy. She reached up to fix his collar, and he caught her hand, kissed it, then kept holding it as they walked. Such a simple gesture, but it gutted me because I realized I couldn't remember the last time we'd held hands without it being performative. I wanted to hate her. This Norwegian diving engineer who speaks 4 languages and makes him laugh at farmers' markets. But I can't. She's not my replacement, she's his upgrade. The partner he deserved all along. Someone who sees his 3-month absences as dedication, not abandonment. Someone who probably sends him pictures of her day instead of F-king someone else. The irony is perfect. I wanted excitement, adventure, something more. Now I'm getting all 3, just not how I imagined. The excitement of starting over with nothing. The adventure of rebuilding a destroyed life. Something more than the suburban comfort I threw away, third world humanitarian work that might actually mean something. My phone has 47 contacts now. Used to be over 500. The social circle that took years to build collapsed in months. But those 47? They're the ones who still answer when I call, even if it's just to check I'm still alive. That's something. I'm 32 now. By the time I come back, if I come back, I'll be 34. Prime years, some would say, wasted in Guatemala teaching farming. But they're not wasted if they're spent becoming someone who wouldn't do what I did. Someone who understands that marriage isn't a possession to be hoarded or neglected, but a garden to be tended daily. Don's getting married on what would have been our 8th anniversary. I only know because Becca let it slip. The same date I destroyed us, he's using to begin something new. There's poetry in that. Cruel poetry, but poetry nonetheless. This is goodbye to Reddit, to Minneapolis, to the wreckage of who I was. I don't know who I'll be in 2 years, but she has to be better than who I've been. Not for Don, not for my family, not for redemption, but because I can't live another year as the woman who had everything and burned it down for the thrill of playing with matches. To everyone who called me a piece of SHT in my first post, you were right. To those who said I deserved it, I did. To the few who offered kindness despite my crimes, thank you. To Don, who will never read this, you won. Not the divorce, not the money, not the public humiliation. You won by showing me exactly who I was in the starkest possible light. You held up a mirror and forced me to see the ugly truth. It was cruel, calculated, and exactly what I needed. I hope Norway is everything you dreamed. I hope Ingrid never gives you reason to hire a pie. I hope your children get your eyes and her laugh. I hope you build the life we planned but better, without the cancer of my entitlement eating away at its foundation. And somehow, despite everything, I hope you've forgiven me. Not for my sake, I don't deserve your forgiveness. But for yours. Because carrying hatred is like diving with stones in your pockets, and you deserve to surface clean. Guatemala in 16 hours. A new chapter in a different language, with soil under my fingernails instead of blood on my hands. This isn't a redemption arc. It's just a woman who lost everything learning to live with nothing, hoping that nothing might eventually become something worth having. Signing off for the last time. The woman who had it all and threw it away for nothing. Edit, posted 3 years later. I know I said I'd never come back to Reddit, but I owe you all an ending. I did my 2 years in Guatemala. Extended for a third. Just got back to the States last month. I'm 35 now, living in Oregon, working for an agricultural sustainability nonprofit. Making $65K, which feels like a fortune after 3 years of living on nothing. I never went back to Minneapolis. Don has 2 kids now. Becca sends me pictures sometimes. They're beautiful, got his eyes, her smile. He's based in Houston now, running the entire Gulf division of his company. Ingrid started her own consulting firm. They look happy in the Christmas cards Becca forwards. Really happy, not the performed happiness I used to post on Instagram. I'm happy for them. That's not growth or maturity talking, it's exhaustion. Being bitter takes energy I don't have anymore. I'm dating someone. Another aid worker I met in Guatemala. Tom's his name, and he's nothing like Don. Nothing like Ronan either. He's just Tom, steady, kind, knows my whole story and chose me anyway. We're taking it slow. Glacially slow. I told him on our third date about the anniversary dinner, the affair, all of it. Figured he should know exactly who he was having coffee with. He listened, nodded, then said, "That was who you were. Who are you now?" Still figuring that out. But I know who I'm not. I'm not the woman who thinks she's entitled to more than she has. I'm not the woman who mistakes trust for weakness. I'm not the woman who would risk everything for nothing. Guatemala taught me something Don tried to teach me but I wouldn't learn, that real satisfaction comes from building something, not from consuming experiences. Every successful crop yield, every farmer who increased their income, every small victory that had nothing to do with me and everything to do with the work, that filled the hole I'd been trying to fill with affairs and excitement. I still have the letter Don gave me at that coffee shop. Folded and refolded so many times the creases are wearing through. I read it sometimes, when I need to remember who I don't want to be. The $30,000 he gave me is still untouched, invested, growing. I can't spend it. It's not mine, it's a monument to my failure, accumulating interest like my regret. Maybe one day I'll donate it to something. Maybe to the ocean conservation charity where my wedding rings went to die. My parents and I have rebuilt something resembling a relationship. It's careful, fragile, but it exists. My mom still tears up sometimes when she looks at me, like she's mourning the daughter she thought she raised. My dad talks to me about work, weather, anything but the past. Becca and I are good. She visited me in Guatemala twice, sweating through the humidity while helping me teach composting techniques. She says I look different now, weathered but real. She went to Don's wedding. Said it was beautiful. Said Ingrid's vows made everyone cry. Said Don looked at peace in a way she'd never seen before. I'm glad she told me. I'm glad I wasn't there. Sometimes I Google Ronan. Pathetic, I know. He's married now too. Some young thing who probably doesn't know about me. Managing a restaurant in San Francisco. Posted about becoming a father last year. The caption, "Ready for my greatest adventure." Adventure. That word still makes me wince. I don't date much. Tom is the first person in 3 years I've let past a second date. Trust issues, my therapist says, but not the kind you'd think. I don't distrust men, I distrust myself. Every time I feel attracted to someone, I question it. Is this real or am I bored? Am I interested in them or the idea of them? Would I still want this if I had to lose everything for it? The answer is always no. Tom included. I wouldn't lose everything for Tom. But maybe that's the point. Maybe healthy love isn't worth losing everything for. Maybe it's just worth keeping. I run now. Every morning, 5 a.m., before the world wakes up and reminds me who I used to be. Running is honest, you're either faster or you're not, you either did the miles or you didn't. No room for the kind of lies I used to tell myself. Last week, I ran a marathon. Nothing special, just a local race, but I finished. As I crossed the line, exhausted and empty, I thought about Don. How he always said I never finished anything difficult, always looked for shortcuts. He was right then. Maybe not now. I'll never apologize to him. He made it clear that door is welded shut. But I did send a donation to his ocean conservation charity. Anonymously. It felt like something. The truth is, I'm okay. Not great, not terrible, just okay. I wake up, go to work, come home to an apartment that's mine even if it's small. I have a few friends who know my story and choose to know me anyway. I have Tom, who makes me laugh and doesn't mind that I sometimes cried during romantic movies because they remind me of what I threw away. I have a life. Smaller than before, simpler than before, but mine in a way the old one never was because that was built on lies I told myself and everyone else. Some mistakes you never recover from, you just learn to walk with a limp. The anniversary dinner was 4 years ago, but it still defines me. Not as the woman who was humiliated in front of her family, but as the woman who needed to be. The woman who had to lose everything to learn that having everything isn't the same as appreciating it. Don, if you ever read this, which you won't, but if you do, thank you. For the surgical precision of that dinner. For the cold efficiency of the divorce. For showing me exactly who I was when I couldn't see it myself. You gave me the gift of consequences, perfectly delivered and impossible to deny. I'm sorry. Not the manipulative sorry that wants something back, but the kind that expects nothing and changes everything. I'm sorry I turned our marriage into a crime scene. Sorry I made you investigate your own wife. Sorry I turned your trust into evidence for my prosecution. I hope your children never learn about me. I hope I'm just a footnote in your history, a brief wrong turn before you found the right path. I hope Ingrid continues to be everything I wasn't. This really is the last update. Tom and I are moving to Washington State next month. New jobs, new coast, new chance to be nobody special with no spectacular failures. Just a woman approaching 36 who learned the hard way that some prizes aren't worth winning and some victories leave you defeated. To everyone who followed this disaster from the beginning, thank you for watching me fall and, maybe, start to get back up. Your brutal honesty in those first posts was what I needed when everyone in my real life was too polite to call me what I was. The woman who had it all and threw it away for nothing is gone. I'm just Verena now. That has to be enough. Because it's all I have left. Thank you so much for watching until the end. If you really like our videos, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Have a great day.